It was the darkest night the village had seen in years. The storm had rolled in without warning, snapping trees in half and flooding the narrow dirt roads with a vengeance only nature could command. Forrest, an old woman named Myrrh, sat alone clutching a flickering oil lamp, its flame barely holding against the gusts of wind that rattled the windows like the hands of ghosts. Myrrh had lived here all her life. Long after her children moved to cities and forgot to call, her neighbors had warned her about the storm, begged her to come down to the shelter in the town hall. But she was stubborn. "I've weathered worse," she muttered when they came knocking. "This is my home." But now water crept under the door like a serpent. Her wrinkled hands trembled as she stuffed towels along the cracks, but it was useless. The flood was rising inch by inch, cold and merciless. And then there was a knock at the door. Bang, bang. Mare froze. Who would come now? Surely no one could be out in this chaos. Bang, bang. She rose, her knees aching, and shuffled toward the sound. "Who is it?" She called out with more fear than strength. "It's me," came a boy's voice. "Take my hand and go." She opened the door, just enough to see him, a boy no older than 10. Soaked to the bone, his eyes fierce and glowing with something she couldn't name. He wore a red scarf, tattered and flapping in the wind, and boots far too big for his feet. "Go where?" she scoffed. "You'll freeze to death. Where are your parents?" "There's no time," he said, thrusting out his hand again. "Take it, trust me. I'm not leaving my house." She shouted over the howling wind, and "Who even are you?" But the boy didn't answer. Instead, he stepped forward, reached for her hand again, and this time Myrrh felt something strange warmth. Not just warmth, but a sense of calm, as if the storm's fury couldn't touch her anymore. "You'll be safe," the boy said softly, "but only if you trust me." Her instincts warred with her heart. Logic said no, but something in the boy's eyes, something ancient and true, whispered otherwise. Trembling, Myrrh reached out. The moment their hands touched, the world changed. The noise of the storm vanished. The cold water evaporated around them. The wind ceased. Mare blinked, and suddenly they were standing on the hilltop above the village, dry and untouched, as if the sky had spared them. She gasped, spinning around. Holding her hand gently to low, her house was swallowed by water. Trees lay flat. The village was a mess of debris and chaos, yet they stood unharmed. "How?" she whispered. The boy smiled sadly. "Sometimes the ones who are forgotten get sent help from those who haven't forgotten." She stared. "Who are you?" The boy's form shimmered for a moment in the moonlight. And for a second, just a second, she saw her husband's smile on his face. The same smile from their wedding day. The same look he gave her when he used to say, "Everything will be all right." "Back! Wait!" she called. "Don't go!" But he was already fading, like mist in the morning sun. Mare stood on the hill for a long time, her heart pounding with awe. She didn't know who the boy truly was, an angel, a spirit, or perhaps something older than all of that. But she would never forget his words, "Take my hand and go." And because she did, she lived.